Hello, welcome to this Excel crash course for data analysis. My name is Joshua Kunamat. I'll be your course instructor for this Excel crash course. Now, if you're striving to become a data analyst, okay, Excel is very important. Excel is like the foundation, your bedrock to becoming a proper and well-noted data analyst, okay. So Excel is a very powerful tool. It's a spreadsheet, but yet it's a very powerful tool for data analysis and also for data visualization. So in this course, I'll be teaching us everything you need to know about Excel to begin your journey in data analysis. Okay, I also have a course, a complete course I did for Power BI. If you need that, you can also DM me. I'll send you the link to get that course. Okay, so without further ado, let's go dive into our course proper. So the first thing we need to do is for us to look at our table of content for this course. The first thing we're going to look at is auto fit. Then the second outline or the second table of content is filtering your data. Then we're also going to look at how to clean your data, some data cleaning concepts like removing duplicate, null values, and the rest. Also, we're going to dive into looking at Excel basic formulas, and I'll be teaching us 5 basic Excel formulas: sum if, count, count A, count if, and the rest. Okay, then we now dive into pivot table. Pivot table is kind of summarizing your data based on your choice. Okay, you can choose a certain columns and rows to do summary of it. Then we have data visualization in Excel. Like I said, Excel is very powerful. Just like Power BI, you can do data visualization using Excel software. And the last one is we're going to conclude this course with certain concepts. Now, as a bonus tip for this course, I'll be teaching us, it's not inclusive in the table of content. I'll be teaching us VLOOKUP and how to split our columns into multiple columns. So without any delay, let's dive into our first course outline, which is the auto fit. All right, so what is auto fit and the purpose of auto fit? Auto fit is just to adjust the width or height of rows and columns to fit the content. It's just a tool or it's just a concept that is used to adjust the width, height of your rows and columns to fit your content. Now, I took pains to ensure that I gave us a step-by-step approach on how to navigate each of these concepts or each of these topics I'm going to cover in this crash course. Now, how to use is just a simple guide on how to fit your data set. Now, the first thing, you need to select the columns or rows. Just like in everything you want to work with Excel, you must, Excel generally, you need to highlight the columns or the rows which you are interested in working with. Okay, so that Excel will know that you are, whatever functions or whatever formulas operation you are executing, Excel will make it to be will effect it in the highlighted columns and rows. So after that, you go to your home tab in your ribbon. Okay, in your ribbon tab, you go to home tab, you go to format, you auto fit column width or auto fit, okay, the rows. All right, so let's dive into, I downloaded a simple Excel sheet. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this so that I will be working. This will serve like our original file. Okay, let's duplicate this sheet. Just hit your control and drag it to another. You now have sheet 1 of 2. All right, and they are still the same. Now, you look at this file right now. As a data analyst, you cannot work with this data. So it is very important that as a data analyst, you need to do what? You need to clean your data and ensure everything is looking nicer, so that when you are about performing operation like calculations and using formulas, your data set will not be giving you issues. And also, most importantly, if you are visualizing your data, it should have accurate data. All we need is just unique value. So without delay, let's go ahead and auto fit our data. All right, like I said, you're going to navigate here. All right, you say you are going to your home ribbon. This is your home ribbon, and you're going to select format. This is format. You're going to have locate auto fit row. We're going to auto fit our row first, then before we auto fit our columns. Okay, so this is how you do. You go ahead and first of all you come to home. If your mouse pointer is at page layout or formula or data, you come back to your home tab in this ribbon. This all entire space is called ribbons. Okay, you hit on your home tab, you come to format on your desktop, you have it here in your ribbon. A quick one, if you look at my ribbon, they are looking kind of formatted. Okay, I change the view, but in your own case, everything I will be teaching you, everything we align here, so you just be seeing them here, so you don't need to stress because mine is kind of different from yours. Okay, so let's continue. When you come to home, you locate your format, you come to auto fit, you click on it, you see it has auto fitted the row. You come back and you auto fit your column. All right, so that is sorry about that. We first of all need to select highlight, Control A to highlight. You now go to your format, you auto fit your height. You see that it has auto fitted my content. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to auto fit our columns. Now you can see that we now have a nicer look of our data. This is the previous one. That was why I had to duplicate this sheet so that we have our formatted and the unformatted. So this is the one we used. Okay, this is the previous one, the original one. So, but when you look at the next one which we formatted, see that everything is now looking nicer. So I hope you enjoy this session. Let's dive into the next table of contents. All right, welcome back from that interesting topic, AutoFit. And this is where we ended our first chapter of this course, which is AutoFit. Okay, I'm going ahead to delete these extra columns and extra rows we are having here. Just I'll delete, and the space above I'll delete it. So let's go to our table of content. Okay, the next thing we are going to look at in our table of content is filtering data in Excel. Okay, what is filtering of data means? Okay, and the purpose to filter your data in Excel, it means to view specific data while hiding the rest. Now, how do you do this? First of all, like I said, in your Excel, while working with Excel as a data analyst, you must first of all select the columns or the rows or a portion of your data set you are interested in applying changes. So for us here, you're going to select your header row. You now go to home, you locate sort and filter. You now click on filter. Now there will be a small drop down arrows will appear. Then you click the arrows to select conditions based on your personal preferences. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. We are going to locate our Excel sheet. What we want to do is to filter data using Excel. We are going to view some data while hiding some. The first instruction is to highlight, select your row, your header row. Bring your mouse pointer to the level you have this, your row numbering 1, 2, that's the first row. When you look at your mouse pointer, it has changed to an arrow sign pointing right. Okay, click on it to highlight all the columns. Now you are going to your home tab on the ribbon. Okay, I'm still in my home tab. Okay, you're going to locate, like I said, my setting is a bit different. Okay, for you see your sort and filter just by here, not it's not hiding under other sub bars. Okay, for me, look, I hid it under editing. You come to sort and filter. You click on it, there's a drop down here. Now all you need to do, you locate your filter and you click on it. Now when you look at your header rows, you see that there's a small drop down icons. Okay, it means you can filter. Let's go ahead and test it. If I want to look at certain columns, certain certain date, if I click on here, it's going to drop for me. I will select all, I will uncheck all. Then I want to see only the month of May. I click on OK. Now when you look at it, every data you are seeing here is data that was gotten in the month of May. Okay, you can as well do a lot of things. You can select any name you want. For example, I want to select this corner wise. So these are the information of people that they contact. Their names are corner wise. You see their client information, department, and the rest. Okay, and if you want to uncheck it all, you just come back and click there. You see what we have here, clear filter from contact. You have cleared this filter from this contact. You also come to your date, you click on it and come to clear filter. So you have cleared all. You can do a whole lot of things based on the problems you are solving. For example, if I want to look at people, the revenue that is less than $5,000, okay, less than $5,000, you click here, you select all. You do it manually, but there's another way I'll show us how to get it at once. You just do greater than or less than, or you can come here and sort by smallest or by largest. Okay, but this is a crash course. Okay, let me not bore you with some formulas or some other steps. I'll not confuse you. You select. These are people that are less than $5,000. Their revenue is less than 5,000. You click on OK. So all these information, all these persons. When you look at this here, you see we have 16 out of 31 record found. So these 16 persons, they have revenue that is less than $5,000. So you can also come here and clear your filter. So this is how you can filter data in Excel. I hope you are enjoying this course. Just keep watching and also practice alongside with me. You can go to Google and type download Excel file that contains blanks, errors in for data analysis. Okay, let's see you in the next chapter of this course. Alright, welcome back to this tutorial. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept of filtering data. So the short format for you to get this drop down menu or icon is Ctrl-Shift-L. You can deselect it or you select it instead of going to your sort and filter and click on filter. Alright, so let's look at our next course content. Alright, so the next thing we are going to look at now is data cleaning concept. Okay, in this data cleaning concept, you're going to look at basically how there's a bonus I'm going to add here. I'm going to add a bonus of how to split columns. Okay, I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so what is data cleaning concept? So the goal is to make sure that your data is clean, consistent, and ready for analysis. So the key step is what we need to do is to remove duplicates. So you go to data, you remove duplicates, which I'm going to show you. The next thing you're going to do is we are going to trim. Trimming is for us to remove extra spaces. Now you use equals to trim, you select the column and to remove the extra spaces, which I'm going to show you. So let's start with removing duplicates in our data. Alright, so let's start with moving duplicates in our data. Alright, so if you look at, there are two ways I want to show us how to get duplicate values in Excel. The first one is conditional formatting, and the next one is going to data and also removing duplicates. Alright, so then the first thing is to look at this. Want to look at this column. Okay, first of all, select it, highlight it. Okay, bring your mouse pointer up. The cursor will turn to arrow pointing down. You click on it. You have selected all these columns and rows. Okay, now you go to conditional formatting, click on it. Now scroll down, come down to where you have new rule, click on it. Now there are options here. Select the rule type. All we are interested is duplicate values. So when you come down, you see format. What you have here, format only unique or duplicate values. Click on it. Now when you come here to this format all, if we have unique, if we need unique values, we have duplicate. We are interested in finding out duplicate values. Okay, come to this format. Where you have this format, click on it. Now come to font. If yours is in number or in border or in field, just come to font. Come to automatic, come to color. Choose your color. I will use this dark red and click on OK and OK it. Now, as you can see, all the values that are duplicated will highlight that color we specified, which is dark red. For me, I use dark red. You can use whichever color that you want. Okay. So we'll use our filtering methods. In this one, we are going to use our filter methods. Now come here to filter. You select filter by color, which is the color. Okay, so these are all the duplicate values we have in our data set. Okay, now let's confirm it. This is the Goodman's Search Group Incorporated. Okay, now when you come down here, you also find this, the Goodman Search Group Incorporated. When you have here, you have Costco Wholesale. You also have here Costco Wholesale. When we have McDonald's Corporation, you also have McDonald's Corporation. Now, how to remove this? All you need to do is just to highlight it all, and you right click and you select on delete rows, okay, or you clear content. So whichever way. So this is the first way and one of the easiest way for you to remove your to check for duplicate columns and also remove. I'm going to Ctrl Z to format it back to the original form. Alright, so the other form which we are going to use is you go to data, your data tab in this your ribbon. Okay, you have here, look at it here, remove duplicate. So once you click on this, these are all the columns in your data set. Okay, these are the columns. You select all. Now, but if you want to select, you want to deselect them, you want to check by each column based on your own preference, you cannot check it. But for me, I want to check for all duplicate value in all the columns. Okay, so you now okay it. Now when you look at it, Excel is telling that 3 duplicate values found and removed. We have 28 unique values. You click on OK. So let's confirm if what we did was correct. Okay, if we still have duplicate value or not. Now what we need to do, we highlight the same column that we did before. Go to conditional formatting, new rule, select unique and duplicate. Select duplicate here, format it. Let's choose a color dark red and OK it. Now if you look at it here, nothing is showing. Okay, if I want to filter by color, there is no color because it does not meet the demand. Okay, because there are no duplicate values in our data set. Okay, so this is how you can remove the duplicate values in your data set. I hope you understand and you enjoy this concept. So let's look at our next topic, the next data cleaning concept. We are going to look at to trim. Trimming means to remove extra spaces, all right, in our data. So the formula we are going to use is equals to trim. We select the columns and we remove the extra spaces. So let's go ahead and look at that. Please pay attention to what we are doing. It will profit you. All right, so if you look at this contact, all right, this contact column, you see that if you look at this Bill Smith, it is, we have spaces here, okay, and we have spaces here. If you look at this Harley Fries, we have too much of spaces here, okay, and if you look at this David, there are too much of spaces here. If you look at this Jordan Bone, we have too much spaces here. So we want to remove these spaces. Okay, we are going to use trim method. So what we are going to do now, we are going to right click here and do insert. We are going to add a new column, all right, so that we are going to execute our formula here. Let's still go and do our contact. All right, Now you do equals to, like I said earlier, that in Excel, before you begin your operations, if you are going to work with formulas, you must first of all begin with equal sign. It's an operand. Okay, this equals to is a assignment operation. You are assigning it to a particular value. If a programmer, like you are using Python or JavaScript, whatever, we call this operand. Okay, but in Excel at your level right now, just know that you begin with equals to, so that Excel will understand. It's a syntax, it's a rule in Excel that you must begin with equals to. Now you type in trim. I love Excel because Excel will auto-populate it for you. You just double click here, then you select this first row, okay, then you click on enter. If you look at here in this former one, there are 2 white spaces behind. When you look at here, everything began in the same place. Why? Because we were able to remove these white spaces. But there's something else I want you to understand. All right, I want you to understand. Now, if you look at the spellings, Bill Smith, the ITH are capital letters. We are going to use another function. Like I told you that I'm going to be giving us bonus topics that are not inclusive as we are working. I'll be exposing you to other concepts. All right. So now there's another function we are going to use, which is called proper. You do equals to proper. Now Excel will auto-populate it for you. You click on it. When I choose this and I hit enter, now what proper does that it begins every alphabet with a capital letter. Like Bill Smith, the B will be capital, the S Smith will be capital letter, while others will be what? Small letters. Okay, there will be lowercase. All right. So, but the spaces, the white spaces are still there. All right. But what we want is that I want to remove these white spaces using trim, and also to prepare our data. The spellings, the write-up should be to look well. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We are first of all going to do our trim equals to trim. We select this. So you come here, just look at my mouse. Okay, you type proper, you double click it as well. Now you enclose this with double quote because you are using 2 functions at the same time. If I'm using 3 functions, I will close my bracket 3 times, but since I'm using 2 functions, I'll close it with 2 times. 1, 2. You hit on enter. Now when you look at it, we have done trimming at the same time we did proper. Now when you look at it, our data is looking well. So, and this is one thing I also love about Excel, is that as you are doing it for one particular column or one row, you can bring it down. The function or the formula will apply to all other columns. All right, so once you come here, you see that your mouse pointer has changed to this black cross. Double click it, drag it down. So our data is looking very well. Now once you copy this whole of this row to replace here, we don't want to have 2 contacts. If you go ahead and delete this, okay, you and delete this particular one, you render this function useless. Let me show us example. Now you see that it's giving us an error because we deleted, because we are referencing the other rows. Okay, how do we do that? This one that has formulas, you highlight it, you copy it or cut it, you come here and look at your left at your ribbon, you see paste. There's a drop down. Don't paste it, paste as a value, as a number. All right, you click on it, you have pasted. Now you can now go ahead. So when you look at it now, we've been able to copy. Now that it's no longer showing formula here, but the first one we're looking at, there was a formula showing at this formula bar. So this is how you can remove your extra spaces in your columns and your rows. Okay, now let's look at our table of content again. Well, let's look at another data cleaning concept. So it's to find and replace. Okay, Now you press Ctrl plus H to replace unwanted characters. That is the short form. Okay, if you are using key short, okay, shortcut keys, but we are not going to do that. All right, but let's look at the proper way to go ahead and do that, because I'm assuming you are a beginner in Excel. Now we are looking at to remove and replace. Now when you look at this client row, we have Amazon.com, AINC dot anything. We have open and close bracket. There are some things inside. For me, the data is not looking clean for me. All right, so I want to remove these extra spaces here. This Amazon, this anything that has to do with open and close brackets. Now, how do we remove that? Using find and replace. You are going to open a new tab. You are going to also type client here. Alright, so what we are going to do is, okay, our formula for conditional formatting for duplicate is still on. That is why it's showing as duplicate. Okay, but let's ignore it. We're going to fix that. Alright, so I want to remove whatever is in open and close bracket. How do I do that? All I need to do is, okay, we don't need to open a new one. Let's delete this. Just highlight here all. Then you go to your find. Where are we going to have this find? Here, this is find, and you click. You have here replace. Okay, but for you, like I said, I formatted this my ribbons. Okay, like this. But you just have that find on its own. But for me, I need to go to editing, and I see here find. You click on it. I want to replace. What am I going to replace? Find what? I'm going to find anything that up in open and close bracket. You do that and asterisk. You do shift and 8 and you close your bracket. What do I want to replace with? If you want to replace it with another value, you put a value here. For me, I want it to be blank. Okay, so I'm going to say replace all, and I say okay, and I close it. Now when you look at this now, those open and close bracket and those right up inside are no longer here. So I have able to remove my extra writing, anything that has to do with open and close. If you want to remove all the commas, you can also find comma and replace it with something else. For maybe you want to find this, you don't like this comma in this telsa. In this telsa, you want to find this comma in all your rows and replace them with something else. You can go ahead and use that method. You go to your find and you go to replace. You find whatever thing and you replace it. So this is how you can use find and replace. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at is how to fix case issues. All right, so before that, let me show you. I promised in the course of this teaching I'm going to be showing us giving us some bonus teachings. Okay, now if you look at this department, this row, we have cloud tech underscore Texas. I want to split this. I want this Texas to be a region. Okay, I don't want like this data set. These are department, operations, and region. They are looking at the department and the region. For example, we have strategy is in New York, operations in Florida, cloud tech in Texas. We want to split these columns into two. Now what and how are we going to achieve this? Like I said, in Excel, you must first of all highlight the columns or the rows you want to perform some operation or concept in. All right, I'm going to highlight this. I'll go to my data. Okay, where you have here text to columns, you go ahead and click on it. Now it's going to show the delimiter. Leave it at delimiter, delimited. Okay, now these are all the columns preview of selected. These are the columns you have selected. These are all of them. You go ahead and click on next. Now by default is on tab. Leave this tab, go to others. Now what do you want to change it with? I want to change it with okay, as you can see, whatever thing you do here is showing here in your right hand side. I just tap my space bar to separate them from department and region, I'm going to click on next. Now this is how it's going to look for me, and I click on finish and I say okay. Now when you look at here, it's showing this, all right, but this is not what we want. Okay, we want it better. It's not looking better for us. Okay, so you are going to go ahead and right click and create a new file. You highlight it here, you come back to split, you come back and say next. So it's here. Let's look at space. Okay, it's in space. Now you click on next and you click on finish. Now when you look at it, not all are coming. Some we are having issues with some, so let's delete this very particular one and let's use only this department and let's work on that. Let's Ctrl Z. Okay, all right, so and let's delete this one we added. Sorry, I'm deleting, not adding. Delete. You highlight it again, you go to here, delimiter, you say next, you remove this space. Okay, let's go to space and let's next. We're referencing this and finish and okay. It's still not giving us what we want. So all I'm doing, I'm tweaking this so that if you are learning, you'll be having these errors. Okay, but now for the last time, let me go ahead and show you the best way for you to do this. All right, so let's look at the best way we are going to address this issue. All right, now first of all, come here and insert a new column. Let's type this region because that is what we want to do. All right, just go ahead and type region. Now come here, the first row, Ctrl Shift and down arrow to select it all. Now you're going to come down to our data where we have a data tab. You come to text to columns. Now you're going to say next. So we are going to go to others. Now what is separating this is the underscore. So you're going to just say shift and minus is underscore. That is what separates this. Go ahead and click on next. Now you come to where destination, this small arrow, you click on it, is here. All right, so you just come here and say finish. Now as you can see, we have it all here. All right, we have all of this clouds, so nothing is here, clouds, but it's not looking good as we expected it to look. Okay, it's not looking well. Let's preview our former one. Let's control. All right, so let me control, go ahead and do this control. In our previous setting, all right, so it's going to work now. Before there was a mixed up. Let's go ahead and repeat the same procedure. All right, go to text, come here, underscore, let's leave at that, and let's finish. All right, so now you can see that we have been able to successfully separated our region from department to a new column. All right, so this is how we can be able to split our columns into different columns. Okay, that was a bonus which I promised. All right, so let's look at another scenario now. Fixed case issues like upper, lower, and proper first letter capitalization. All right, so let's go ahead and do that very quick. This is what we are going to end here for this session. Okay, let's choose now. Let's assume I want to change all of this department into a capital letter. I come here and I insert a new column. All right, so I'll say equals to lower. Sorry, they are all lowercase. I want to change them to upper cases. No, you click on double click and click here and enter. So if I drop it down, everything now is in capital letter. Let's put here uppercase. Now let's assume we want to change this. Okay, we look at this this our client, they are all in capital letters, so we want to change this to small letters. Let's insert here and let's say lowercase. You say equals to lower, you double click, you click on it and you enter. Everything is going to show you as lower. Okay, why is showing red? Because our function for for this conditional formatting is still on. We did not remove it, so it's still active. Okay, it's still active. That is why it's still showing us as that. Let me go ahead and just remove this. Let me go ahead and remove that conditional formatting, so I will not be having these issues again. Okay, let me change the color to white and let's just go ahead. It's not changing. Alright, so this is how we can change to lower case. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'll also go ahead and delete this. So we have come to the end of this data cleaning concept. So in our next chapter, we are going to look at Excel basic formulas. We're going to look at sum to add values together, sum if, add values that meet a condition, count numeric entries, count A, count non-empty cells, text and numbers. Then we have count if, count cells that meet a condition. So see you in our next video, in our next chapter. Hello, welcome back to chapter 5 of this Excel crash course. Alright, so I want to first of all congratulate you for making it to this chapter. Okay, in this chapter we are going to continue our lessons. Now if you look at the previous chapter, chapter 4, we were able to clean our data and it was looking this beautiful. But before we dive into our chapter 5, which is we are going to look at how to basic formula. All right, basic formula, basic Excel formula, sum if, count A, and count if. We are going to first of all do little analysis here again. All right, remember I promised that I'm going to be giving us bonus tutorial or bonus concepts. Okay, this was not part of the video table of content, but as we are working, so there's need for us to also look at and understand this concept, so that when you're working with your own data, you also know how to navigate through this same process. All right, so we've cleaned our data. We are just left with just two things to complete our data cleaning. All right, if you look at this payment, we have blank, or you can call them null values. Okay, these are blank cells. And if you look at our revenue, we also have blank. And now when you come to our profit margin, there are some, we have this hash div /O and exclamation mark. These are errors. Okay, as a result of error, that is why it's giving us this issue. So that when you're working with a data set, you're working for a company, you're a consultant, or you have been employed as a data analyst to do analysis on a particular data set. When you come across this issue, you should not freak out. So this I'm going to show us the possible ways to address these issues. Okay, so without being said, let's continue our cleaning concept. Okay, now when you look at this payment column, we have blanks, and we also have in revenue, and we also have in our profit. Okay, it's not a profit, we only have in revenue and payments. So basically we are going to work on how to clean to work with null or empty cells in our data set. So for us to do that, first of all, like I always say, you must first of all select the portion of your data set or a whole if you want to apply any concept. All right, so I'm going to do Control A to highlight all. Now I'm going to my home tab on my ribbon, select find and select. Now you have here go to special. Okay, just click on it. Now this dialog box will appear. We are interested in blanks, so go ahead and click on blanks and hit on OK. Now it's going to highlight this and give, these are all the blanks we have in this data set as a whole. These are the only four, 1, 2, 3, 4 cells that are blank. Okay, now we want to replace this blank with NaN, means not a value. Then you can now reach out to your company, your HR or a finance team why this data was missing. We don't want to delete this because there might be an oversight or something like that. So you don't want to just clean up the data. You need to have a value that will help us to reach out to HR in order for them to make the complete update. So you come here to your, this is called your formula bar. All right, click on it. We want to replace this null, this empty cell, with NaN. Go ahead and type Na. So means for not applicable. Then please, I want you to understand this. I want you to take note of this. Press your control key, then you enter. You are not just going to do enter alone, it will not affect the changes. So you need to do control and enter. Now if you look at this, now we now have Na means not applicable. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I've saved this my data. All right, so we don't have blanks anymore. Let's go ahead and check if we have blank. Let's still go back to our find. Let's go to go special. Let's look at blanks and OK. You see that no cells were found. So we've been able to successfully remove our blanks, okay, from our document. All right, so now the next thing we are going to do is to clear this error. Okay, this is an error because here in payment is not applicable, revenue not applicable. Then in profit we have $779. So this profit margin, profit is profit divided by what? By revenue, giving us the percentage, the profit margin in percentage. Okay, but here no payment, no revenue, and you're having profit is questionable. That's why it's returning this value as an error. Okay, so we want to sort this error with, to replace it with NaN value, so that when we finally go back to our finance team or our HR to make the update of these cells that were blank, this will pop out automatically because there's a formula already in place. Okay, so how do we address this? Go ahead and highlight everything. Okay, no, go ahead and click on the first one here. Now what we need to do now is that I already imputed my formula here, which I'm going to, while I was trying to work on this, I imputed a formula, all right, which I'm going to show us. I want to remove the formula. I will remove the formula and we go ahead and execute this. All right, so let's bring it down a minute. All right, so now let's go ahead. You click on here. If you look at here, where how we got this profit margin is G2 means profit, our H2. This is our profit divided by our G2, which is our revenue, to have the percentage of our profit margin. So go ahead here and click behind this, in front of this equals to, and behind this close open bracket, type if error, double click on it. Now come back here and do comma in front of your G2, then open your double or single quote and you type in your NA, all right, and close it. Then you close your close bracket and you click on enter. Okay, all right. I am coming. Defeat. Alright, so let's go ahead and do if error. What are we looking at? Let's go ahead and do comma. NA and close. Okay, so when you look at it, we say if error, and you add comma, then open and close parentheses, you put NA and close the bracket. Now when you come here, you drag it, double click it. Now you see that error has been cleared. We now have NA means not applicable, and let's go ahead and save and work. Now this is how you can go ahead and clear your data and work on your data. Okay, we have been able to successfully clean our data. We don't have duplicates, we don't have null values, we don't have any error, and we've been able to split our department and region into two. We split our cells. Okay, so we've done a whole lot. So we have done, our data is looking well. Now this was the previous data we were working with. Okay, if you look at it, it was looking this way, and we were able to clean this data into what we are having it now. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to convert this data into a table. Okay, it's not yet a table form, so we are going to convert it. But let's go to our table of contents. So what we want to do now is we want to look at sum if, count A, and count if. Okay, so that is the course content for this chapter. So for me to work on that, I have a different data set which I'm going to use to analyze this particular concept. Okay, so you can go ahead and choose any data set. All right, but it's going to work the same. Why I'm not working with the other data set? Because I'm going to use data set for another thing. I want to convert this to for us to use this for our pivot table in the subsequent topic. All right, which we are going to look at pivot table. All right, so let's go to our data. All right, so what is sum if? We are first of all going to do to sum. Sum means to add values together, and there's a step here equals to whatever you're going to start with in Excel. You begin with equal sign, then you type the name of the function, and it takes just one parameter, which is the cell, the range of the cells. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at how we are going to work on that. Okay, let's see how we are going to work on that. Now, the first thing we are going to look at sum. We're going to look at sum if. We're going to look at count A. We're going to look at also count. I'm going to look at count if. All right, let's look at sum. Sorry, I brought this here. Let's cut this and paste it here. And let's say sum. All right, so for us to have a sum, we are going to add this total cookies sold together. Okay, we say sum is to add values, not strings, not text, but values that has the in linear form. Okay, that can add up, whatever that has ability to add up those numbers. That is what we add. We cannot add text like this. Okay, what we want is to add values together. All right, so we want to add this cookie sold. What we need to do, we say equals to sum. You double click on it and you choose the range. Now, when you are working with Excel gives you a concept, or let me say a guide on what you're about to do. Now, sum number 1, comma, number 2, and infinity. What we want to do is the whole of this range. You drag it to the end, okay, and you click on enter. So we have 103 cookies sold. Okay, now you can as well do it here. You can say equals to sum. Okay, you drag it from the beginning to the end and you enter. It's giving us same thing. All right, so this is how you can do your sum. So that is it. Now let's look at our sum if. sum if at values that meet a condition now equals to sum if a range and the criteria. It add values greater than 10. Here we're looking at number greater than 10 based on the data set, just a sample guide, just a guide, okay? So let's go ahead and look at how we can apply that function, that same strategy in our own. So we are looking at sum if. You see equals to sum if, okay? You double click, not ifs. Now, it takes two parameters. One, the range. What range are we looking at? I want to look at chocolate sold, the chocolate chip and the cookie sold. Cookie sold for this chocolate chip. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all. Okay? Here it says we should add comma. I add comma. What is the criteria? My criteria is I want to sum only chocolate. And I'm going to say comma. Then what is the sum range? The sum range is in this word, in these cookies. Alright, cookies sold. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on enter. If you look at it here, we have 105 for sold for chocolate chip. Here we have 28. If you come down again here, we have in India. In United States we sold 28. In India we sold to 75 chocolate chip. In Philippines we sold for 55. So if you add it 55, 75 and 28, it's giving us 105. That is sum if. Now let's look at the next concept. We are going to look at count. We say count. It counts numeric entries. That was what I was trying to explain to you earlier, that in count, it focuses on numeric entries, numbers that are linear in nature that can add up, okay? You cannot count strings. In strings, we use count A, which we are going to look at it in a second. Let's look at count, okay? In count, let's move this way. In count, we want to count the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we want to count numeric. Remember, not string, numeric. We want to count total cookies sold. Now we are not summing, we are not adding. We are not doing 28 plus 32 plus 54, 52, 67. We are counting 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what count does. Okay, let's count total cookies sold for these three countries. You see, equals to count. Double click and you highlight it all. Another way for you to do this is all right. So we are still in count. You go ahead and highlight all of this and you click on enter. It's giving us 21. Okay, it therefore means that all cookies sold 21. Let's go ahead and confirm this manually. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Excuse me, 21. So this is 21. Now let's look at count A. What is count A all about? Count A, count non-empty cells, text plus numbers. Count A, count non-empty cells. All right, so let's go ahead and look at it, both text and numbers. All right, so count A, what it does is that it counts both numeric and text format. So it counts none. If we have any non-value here, it will not count. Okay, let's go ahead and experiment this. Let's count total countries we have here. See, equals to count A. Double click. You bring this and you enter. It's giving us 21 as well. They have 21 entries. Same thing with, we use count, but count, we were looking at this. Okay, now let's go ahead and just delete one of these. Let's just say we deleted. Now you see that sorry, not to delete. Let's go ahead and clear this. Let's clear this. and now go ahead and do equals to count A, and let's count and enter. It's giving us as what? As 9. Why is it giving us 9? Because they are unique here. Let's not use this one. Let's use the country count A. Let's enter. It's giving us 20. So it does not count these empty cells. So it's giving us 20. Though these empty cells are there, but it's giving us 20. But if we undo this and add our columns and we redo equals to count A, and we do it, shift down and enter, it's giving us 21. I hope you're understanding. Now the last one we're going to look at is this, our count if. Count cells that meet a condition. Example, equals to count if A to this greater than 10. So let's go ahead and look at this count if. Now count if, we are going to count these particular values, okay, this cookie. So we're going to count it. All right, so let's go ahead and do count if. You double click, and here it takes a range. This is the range, and it's taking a criteria, and the criteria I want to look at, it just counts how many 67 are here, and you go ahead and enter two field arguments. Okay. Alright, so let's just redo it. Sorry, let's use a proper way. Let's count the number of countries, or let's look at cookie's name. Alright, so let's say equals to count if. This, we use comma. Alright, we did not add comma. What are we looking at? What is the criteria? Let's look at how many chocolates are here. Okay, and enter. There are 3 chocolates. Now this is chocolate 1, chocolate 2, and chocolate 3. So what we want is in a range, and we select our criteria. You can as well go and use numeric. We can also say equals to count if. What is the range? The range is the whole of these rows. Okay, we go down and we use comma. This is just look at down, it's giving us a guide. We use comma. What's the criteria? I want to look at how many 44 are in this range, and go and enter. It's only just 144, and which is this one. No other 44 is here. So this is how we can use Excel and operate some basic formulas. So the next one, I'm going to combine this. I'll be very fast a bit. So we are going to look at pivot table. What's the purpose? Summarize large data quickly. How to use? Select your data, include headers, go to insert pivot table, choose whether to place a new or existing, drag fields to row category values and the rest. So this one is very simple. It's not, you're not going to do any formula. It's a drag and drop. That was why I had to leave this, my file Excel sheet, for this tutorial. So for me, for the first thing I want to do, I want to convert this to a table. So I'm going to go ahead and click Ctrl A. I'll go to insert. I'll go to table, and I'm going to say OK. Now, as you can see, we have, and save it, we have a nice looking table. I can export this table to anybody for data analysis. There will not be any issue. So for us to work with pivot table, the first you need to do, you are going to do what? To highlight your data set. You go to insert. You have here, we have pivot table, or here we click on it from table range. Okay, you click here. I don't want to use this method. I'll come here and from table range. Now, yeah, it's going to ask you your table name. I want to give my table a name. I want to say data analysis. That's my table name. Now, is Esther asking you choose where you want to pivot table. You want the pivot table to be placed. new worksheet, existing worksheet. When you say new, it's going to open a new worksheet, a new sheet for us. But if you say existing, it's good, everything is going to be here. But I don't like this existing. It's going to mess up our whole data set here, our data, our table here. It's going to look very messy. So I'll choose the new worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and click on what? On enter. Source reference valid. Okay, choose where you want to slice or multiple tables. Add this. What? Location. Sorry, I want to location. Okay. Data source reference is not valid. Why is it so? Okay, let us fix this. Insert pivot table from table range. Okay, all right, so we've been able to do that. You don't need to highlight it. Now when you look at here, this is our pivot table. To build a report, choose fields from pivot table field. So this is the field in your right hand side. This is a field, all right? So this is called pivot table field. These are all the rows you have or columns you have in your data set. Now let's assume I want to look at my client. You just need to drag it and bring it to your row. You have it here. Whatever you are doing here is replacing, you are seeing it here at your left hand side. I want also to look at the region. Okay, you bring it. You are cross fitting it. So I'm going to cross Z. Now I want to look at revenue. Anything that has to do with addition, you bring it to value. Revenue, I bring it to value. You see it here. Revenue count 1. We are going to work on this. Okay. Now, I want you to look at the profit. You bring it down to the value. You have profit this way. And I want to look at the profit margin. You bring it to down here as well. You also have profit value. Okay, margin. All right. If you are scroll, you see the profit margin. All right. So let's go ahead and now you can change this by right clicking and you come to summarize by what I want to use by sum. So look at how it's appearing. Now, if you also come to profit margin, you click and right click, you come to summarize by, I want it to be by average. You say by average, not by average. Let's do it by, it's supposed to be percentage. Is this, if you say sum, no, we can remove this field. Okay, it's not necessary. So this is how we can now, if you look at down here, is summing it for us. You can as well say the revenue. Let's look at our table here, our sheet 2. Our revenue, this is our revenue, is looking at, look at how our revenue is looking at, is in dollars. Okay, let's go ahead and format this, our revenue. Okay, let's summarize by, not by average, more option. It's not. So let's go ahead and check. Okay, let's show values as not percent, no calculation, no, summarize by, no, show values as, okay, we can just leave it at this. Okay, sum of revenue $4,500. Okay, so now this is how we can do pivot tables. Pivot table is just a summary of our data here, just a summary. You can choose individually. You can just drag and drop. Now let's dive into our visualization. Okay, with this pivot table you can visualize your data. All you need to do, you are going to go to insert and you're going to choose any of these you want to use. Okay, you can go ahead and say pivot chart. No, let's choose let's assume let's just okay. Go to insert, recommended chart. I'm going to use this and okay. Now you see we have been able to build a chart to visualize. Okay, this is now a chart. You can open a new sheet here and just copy. You say Control X and bring it to here and paste it. So this is how you can build your visualization. Now we have sum of revenue and sum of profit by countries. Okay, and the values, I look at them here. Then you can as well come here and do the same thing for, you can choose just revenue, can choose just different columns, and you go to insert, you go to recommended charts, you can choose this, you can choose this. Okay, you say okay. Now you can just do Control X and bring it to the new column and you paste it here and you have a second visuals here. So this is how you can do pivot table and use it to build your chart in Excel. So I hope this video was very educative, was very simplified to your understanding. This is how you can build your visualization, your chart, just like Power BI, and also you can do your data analysis using Excel. So if you want to dive into the second tool as data analyst, okay, which is Power BI, just DM me. I have a complete course which I have done already. So just DM me. I'll send you the link for you to get that Power BI crash course as well. You begin to build different visualization, and also you learn new concepts like DAX function and also basic formula operations. So in Power BI, I'll teach us what we call Power Query. Okay, in that Power Query, you can do your data manipulation like cleaning and the rest, just like what we did in Excel. You can also do this in Power BI. So I hope this video was educative. Please do well to go through this course again one by one and not just watching, practicalize. And if you have any question, please you can DM me and I will be available to provide some guidance. Thank you and see you in our next subsequent tutorials. Thank you and God bless you. I remain my humble self, George Upunamastevio. I am a data analyst working with Excel, Power BI. I'm also working with the Postgres, that is SQL, and also I work with tools like Python, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn for data visualization. I'm also a software developer using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So please, if you want to learn software development, front end specifically, please do well to DM me. Thank you and see you in our next subsequent future tutorials.